One, cutting taxes, and then two, banning the import of chemical fertilizer. It will take 6 to 7 months at the bare minimum. We need to make sure that people have food to eat, medicine, and fuel. Fairly complex situation in the banking system.
This is an Al Jazeera headline. Sri Lanka to suspend foreign debt payments.
This is called a selective default, pure incompetence plus arrogance of this government who didn't understand the gravity of the problem. They were not serious. Now the people are angry. They want all the Rajapaksas to go. I mean, it's funny that he says the people don't deserve it. I mean, who created this? It's the trigger was two policy errors. One, cutting taxes, and then two, banning the import of chemical fertilizer that created this problem or the collapse. But as you said correctly, the big problem that we have now is to obtain some bridging finance. Yes, we have gone to the IMF, but to start receiving money from them on what's called a EFF or extended fund facility, it will take 6 to 7 months at the minimum, bare minimum. Until that time, we need to make sure that people have food to eat, medicine, and fuel, for which we don't seem to have sufficient funds. So, like you said, yes, we are reaching out to various countries, but I don't see money flowing in. India has helped us quite a bit. China has, on the other hand, said, look, we are not going to be restructuring the loans. And that's a conflict that has already got created between the government, the IMF, and the negotiators who will be appointed soon to talk to the bondholders. So one is that. The second issue, which is sort of a fairly complex situation in the banking system that needs to be immediately addressed.
If you have a look here, this is an Al Jazeera headline. Sri Lanka to suspend foreign debt payments. That means, Harsha, help me out, make sure that I've got this right, that a country can no longer afford to pay the foreign debts because they have to pay for food and fuel, important medicine, important goods that you need for your citizens in your country, rather than paying down your debt. Did I get that right, Harsha, before I move on?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
So we actually unilaterally suspended payment of both coupon and principal to all foreign creditors.
How bad is that, Harsha? How on the level of 1 to 10, and 10 is disaster, where are we when you suspend?
We're at 9. We're pretty much
Yikes.
because this is called a selective default.
Okay.
Because some payments would be made, meaning trade transactions would be settled. So
Right.
only if banks are unable to meet trade transactions, we go from selected default to default, which would then create further chaos because firms would not be able to purchase or import goods without paying cash up front, because this is pure incompetence plus arrogance of this government who didn't understand the gravity of the problem. They were not serious. If they understood the problem, they could have resolved this much earlier without, creating this absolutely horrendous situation for the people in this country. Now, the people are angry. They want all the Rajapaksas to go. Now, as the opposition, we have now got, I believe, sufficient numbers to bring in a no-confidence motion against the government, which means we can essentially unseat the Prime Minister.
I'm at the very end of this show, so I am just curious here. I'm asking you to do a little bit of prediction. Manel, Harsha, Jahan, thank you so much for helping us with today's show. Harsha, when we come back to talk about Sri Lanka, when you come back on the stream, will there be a different administration? Yes or no?
It's a tough question to answer, but very likely there will be a different administration.